you know. Keep an eye on identity fraud, okay? If I can just look over my whole 20s. Life is passing. Always stop for gas, okay? You have to go after what you want to do. Okay guys, so I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about 29 things that I've learned thus far in my little life here on earth. So here we go. So the first one is to be kind to yourself and take care of yourself. So if you're anything like me, if you overthink, if you doubt yourself, try your hardest to stop doing that, because I promise you it's going to serve you well in life. You're finally going to go after some of those things that you've been wanting to do. The second one is if it's okay if you still don't know what you want to do, or like if you don't have it all figured out, because I definitely thought by this age that I was going to have everything figured out. I was going to know exactly what I wanted to do with my life, where I wanted to live, how I wanted my life to look, and I'm just barely starting to understand what it is that I truly want to do, or at least try to be a little bit more honest with myself about what that looks like and not let others' opinions of me kind of dictate what I think I should be doing. The third one is that you're in control of your feelings. So try to remember that when people or things upset you or get to you, that you ultimately have the control to change that or to look at it in a different light. Fourth is that nothing is forever. I kind of have this bad habit of thinking that if I make a decision or if I do something that it's finite, that's where we're at, it's never going to change. You've made that decision. It's going to basically be a guideline for where your life ends up going or how things continue on. If you think about things in that light, you leave yourself little room to grow or change and or to feel comfortable with pivoting into something new. If you ever watch Friends, Pivot, I love that whole scene, that it's okay to cry. I definitely am someone who's pretty emotional. In the line of work that I do, I have to do a really good job of trying to push that to the wayside, but in my normal personal life, that's definitely something that I do to stress relieve. Of course, if you're not a crier, it's okay not to cry, but just trying to, for any of my folks out there who are a little bit more sensitive, or maybe you feel emotions intensely, that's actually a strength that you can use in your regular life or your professional life, because you likely have a lot of empathy for other people and other things, and that'll definitely serve you well in whatever you choose to do. I tend to be very private. Like, that's why this whole idea of being on YouTube is definitely different for me. But I do feel like there are moments in your life when you have to kind of go after what you want and not allow those things to dictate what your life can be like. So you can still be a private person and still be doing different things, be on social media and all that. Trust your instincts. So if you have a gut feeling about it, if it's something that, you know, it's just an innate response to it, it's likely the right thing to do, or you're probably on the right path. That family is important. So I definitely am like everybody else. I haven't had a perfect upbringing or anything like that, but I do have a lot of great people in my life, and I love a lot of people, and a lot of people love me. So I'm just learning as I get older that it's important to kind of lean into those people who support you and who are there for you. Whoever is your family, whether it be by birth or your designed family, or whoever it is that, you know, you feel closely to, try to find a way to acknowledge them, you know, do things with them, embrace them, and spend time together. Because sometimes we get older and we get our own little lives, and it's harder to connect with others. So just find a way to do that if you can. Get a pet. I think it's really important to get a pet, because I think they bring you a lot of joy. And especially for me, I didn't realize how much I needed a pet, or that a pet was going to kind of lighten up my life. I grew up with a lot of cats, and I always thought, okay, I'll get one later on, and then starting my young adult life, so I really didn't have time or the space or all that it takes to take care of a pet. But now that I have had one for about 10 months now, it's one of the best things that I did, and I'm so glad I did it. Don't buy things that you don't need. Just don't do it. Brush your hair, brush your hair, brush your hair, brush your hair. Always stop for gas, okay? I know we say that we're gonna get gas in the morning, but just if you drive a vehicle or anything like that and you say you're gonna go for gas in the morning, help yourself, you know, your future self, by doing it now. Floss regularly, okay? The dentist is real. Take care of your teeth. You know, things change, people change, our teeth change, so just do that. Exercise regularly. I'm working on that one. I haven't done that one yet, but I did try last year, so let's try again in 2021. Keep an eye on identity fraud, okay? Because these people are out here and they will go after your things. So I think I had a couple of instances where people were trying to, either they did gain successful access to my credit cards and they did use them, and that was a hassle. So just try to keep an eye on that. Start investing. I actually have I'm not gonna lie, I have one little baby stock, but I'm actually, this year my goal is to try to get more involved investing, and I don't know what that's gonna look like. I don't know where I'm gonna go beyond the one stock that I have, but I need to really get on top of it. So if you have any interest in it, just start now. Speak up more. This would be a really big one for me because my whole life I've really struggled with speaking up in different spaces or under different conditions, whatever you want to call it. I think it's really important to just share your opinion and your voice. Don't be scared just because you're not sure how to articulate it or how it's going to come off, that, oh, I just shouldn't say anything at all, because that's what I did for so long in my life, and I still struggle with that now. But find a way to share your voice, find a way to speak up, whether it be on something you're really passionate about or just, just to speak up in your regular life around your peers and things like that. So don't be scared, or be scared, but be brave. It's okay to embrace your inner child, okay? So if you like cartoons or if you like to play video games, don't be worried about, it's okay to embrace the inner kid in you, because the older we get, it's harder to really find spaces and time to acknowledge that inner child. But it's really, really important for our mental health and our self-care to find ways to bring that back to center, because a lot of times that joy can get diminished over time because we have so many things that we have to do or look over or we're responsible for now. So just find a way to, take care of the inner kid in you. If you like to eat ice cream, you want to go play a game, or I don't know, color. I'm going to get back into coloring, so just join me on that. Don't compare, stop comparing yourself. That's, if I can just look over my whole 20s, a lot of the times I was just not in the best of spaces because I was just too worried about so many things. And it's not in a space of envy or jealousy or things like that. It's more of a, wow, I wish I was as brave as them. I wish that I put myself more out there, or put myself out there more like them, just to be more courageous. I had to really figure out and get down to the root of why I was so worried about others or what others were doing. And it always came back to this idea of they're just living, they're just doing them. And again, this is all perception, so I know that those people, whoever I might have been looking at or referencing, have their own things going on. But the thing that I admired most about them was their ability to put themselves out there and or to live unapologetically. Getting older does not mean that it's the end all be all. It's more about, I get to reflect on what I've been through and all the things that I've accomplished and or not accomplished, and kind of use it as a foundation for where I want to go next. I know a lot of people older than me, they think about the idea of creeping up on 30 as get over it, you're fine. But I know a lot of us who are getting closer to that age or even around that age, it does feel like this internal, there's a lot of things happening mentally and internally around the idea of aging, and especially in our society, that if you haven't reached certain markers in your life, that you haven't been successful, whatever successful means to you. So just try your hardest to not allow the idea of getting older to diminish your goals and your dreams and your wants and your aspirations. Keep going after them, keep trying, because I seriously bet you that there's somebody out there who might be inspired by you and or your story or what you're doing. Or maybe you're just that one person that, helps them to see, okay, I was right on the cusp of it, I'm not gonna stop, just to keep going. I know, especially for people like me, I look at others and I'm just inspired by people's stories and what they've gone through and their resiliency. Stop overthinking. Don't overthink. It'll be the death of all of your ideas. I know I have a bad habit of doing it. I do it every day. A lot of times when I overthink, I won't act on it, or I'll just think, what's the point? Why should I even start it? Why should I even do it? Who cares? And I just go down this spiral. And it's okay to acknowledge those thoughts, but it's important to try to stop thinking like that, and find a way to get yourself back centered. What I'm trying to do now is to try to stop myself in the moment and change the negative thought process to a more positive thought process. Right? I feel this way. What can I do to help myself? All right, yeah, I had this negative thought about myself, but let's think about something that I did well, or what can I learn from that? So you are loved. A lot of times, things happen, we get older, we find ourselves in difficult situations, or things are not going as we had planned, and it's easy to think, oh, no one cares, or like no one gets it. But someone cares, someone loves you, someone likes you, someone enjoys you. Just try to keep that in your mind at all times, because it's really easy to think differently. So try to surround yourself with love. Even if you might not feel like you have anyone in the physical world, try to find spaces like on YouTube with people you can connect with, and maybe with folks who are doing things that mean something to you or bring you happiness or joy. I really do think that most people have good intentions, and that, you know, I wish a lot of people well. So yeah, you got it. Whoever you are out there watching this, you have it. Reach out to people when you feel like going inward. This kind of goes back to an earlier idea where I said I'm pretty private. So sometimes I have a tendency of just going inward when I'm not feeling the best. And I've learned that sometimes even when we don't feel the best, it's really important to reach out to somebody, even if you're not in this space to really carry on in a long conversation or anything like that. A lot of times the world has a weird way of working. You're going through something, and that person you end up reaching out to, they might have been in not the best of spaces themselves. So just hearing from you help them out, or maybe they're in a great space and they can help uplift your spirits. Watching old TV shows is really great if you're anything like me, because you already know the outcome and it helps ground you. And it's nostalgia. I like watching a lot of old TV shows, especially from the 2000s. It's just a way that I've learned over the years to help myself feel better when I'm feeling uncertain or out of control. Knowing what is going to be the outcome of this show, or, you know, messages in it that really resonate with me, help to bring me back to where I'm at, and helps to remind me I felt like this before. I was able to get over it. I was able to address it, whatever you want to call it. And I came out on the other side. So I can do it again. Be fearless. Even when you're scared as heck, like, just do it. Try not to think about it anymore. If there's something you've been wanting to go after, something you've been wanting to do, just go after it. Even if you're not quite sure why you want to do it, or what's the purpose, what's the point. If there's something drawing you to it, try to go ahead and just do it, okay? You've thought about it to death. You've thought about what could go wrong 100 million times, or all these different things. Just go after it. I promise you'll feel better. Even me starting this YouTube channel, I really didn't know, and I still don't know where I'm gonna go with it or what's the point of it all. But I feel like for someone like me who's a little bit more introverted, it's really nice to be able to put a lot of thoughts and ideas that I've been having in my head for years actually out there for someone else, because I know for a fact that I found a lot of refuge and just peace and feeling seen, per se, on YouTube by seeing other people and learning about their messages or their stories or who they are. And I don't know, just do it. It's okay if it's already been done, okay? Hear me out. So I know I do this every day too. Why do it if everyone has already done it and they've already put their own spin on it, and you feel like it's all, you know, it's overdone, or there's really no space for you to do it, whatever it is. Just do it, because I feel like I'm trying to like convince you, but just do it because you offer something that no one else can offer. And you being you, your authentic self, try to be your authentic self as much as possible, will come through in whatever it is that you do. And someone will resonate with that. Someone will appreciate it. And even if people don't get it, or they don't understand it, or maybe they're against it, or whatever, they doubt you, so what? Like, I just feel like if you're anything like me, you've already done the doubting for yourself. You know, you've already done all that. So, okay, just put yourself out there. At least you know, versus not knowing, right? It's better to go after it and fail, or maybe not do it. It end up being what you want it to be, than not doing it and regretting it and sitting on the sidelines. Because life is passing. Like, if anything happened for me, especially in the last year with everything going on in the world and just my own life, it's just, you have to go after what you want to do. Or you have to try, because you don't want to look back and think, I had all this potential or all these thoughts or whatever it is, and I never acted on it. And especially if you're trying to make some kind of footprint on the earth, whatever, just try. Especially if it's going to be something that is right for you, and if you're genuine about it, it's bound to come through. in whatever else you do in life. So just go after it. Don't stop. Don't be hard on yourself. I was my own enemy, and I'm trying to actively work on that. So just try to tell yourself, try to big up yourself, or don't let what others think about you, or it's sometimes not even negative things that people think about you. It's just that there's this idea of who they think you are. Basically what I'm trying to say is that even if you perceive yourself a certain way, or you feel like others perceive yourself a certain way, and there's something you truly want to do that's so outside of that or uncharacteristic, and as long as you're not hurting anybody or doing anything crazy, as far as like, just do it. Smile, dance, do something that brings you happiness. Like, try to get out of yourself. That's what I'm learning. I feel like I'm in front of a class. That's what I'm learning, and I'm trying to get that across to you guys, to just do things that bring you outside of your head and bring you outside of your thought processes and your thinking and all of that, and allows you to kind of feel and exist and not be so worried about what you're thinking, because sometimes just movement, it helps you to get out of your head. Own your awkwardness, okay? My last one is that I learned in my 29 years that I'm very awkward, and a lot of times I actively want to say things or do things, but I feel awkward about how to articulate it. I'm not sure how it's going to come off, and then I just get in my head about it, and then I just don't do it. And then, yeah. So even this whole thing is probably going to come out awkward and strange and weird, but there's someone else out there like me, hopefully, who gets it. So yeah. Those are just 29 things, maybe more, that I've learned or that I feel like is important for others to try to look into. Let me know if any of you felt any of these, if any of these made sense to you, or if none of it made sense to you at all, or you've never felt like that at all. Then I'm actually pretty happy for you. It sounds like maybe things are going well for you. And then if not, let me know either way in the comments below if you liked it or you enjoyed it. Lastly, let me know if there's anything else that you've learned in your life thus far, whether it be you're 15 years old or you're, well beyond 29. So thank you for watching. I really, really, really appreciate it. And if you stuck around this long, here's some funny bloopers to laugh at me more. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Just do it. I guess my whole mantra I'm learning is do it, be brave, go after it, try it. Try. I don't know. Yes, I wish, or yeah, I feel like this is a whole spiel now. So yeah, like, does that, yeah. Whoa, okay, that was good time, but be fearless.